There is no friend as loyal as a book. There is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know. I love sleep. My life has the tendency to fall apart when I'm awake, you know? The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Always do sober what you said you'd do drunk. That will teach you to keep your mouth shut. The first draft of anything is shit. The world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. All you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know. I drink to make other people more interesting. When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. All good books are alike in that they are truer than if they had really happened, and after you are finished reading one, you will feel that all that happened to you, and afterwards it all belongs to you. The good and the bad, the ecstasy, the remorse and sorrow, the people and the places and how the weather was. If you can get so that you can give that to people, then you are a writer. Every day is a new day. It is better to be lucky, but I would rather be exact. Then when luck comes, you are ready. All thinking men are atheists. Courage is grace under pressure. Never think that war, no matter how necessary nor how justified, is not a crime. If people bring so much courage to this world, the world has to kill them to break them. So of course it kills them. The world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. But those that will not break it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle and the very brave impartially. If you are none of these, you can be sure it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry. You expected to be sad in the fall. Part of you died each year when the leaves fell from the trees and their branches were bare against the wind and the cold, wintry light. But you knew there would always be the spring, as you knew the river would flow again after it was frozen. When the cold rains kept on and killed the spring, it was as though a young person died for no reason. You can't get away from yourself by moving from one place to another. Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. Never confuse movement with action. The best people possess a feeling for beauty, the courage to take risks, the discipline to tell the truth, the capacity for sacrifice. Ironically, their virtues make them vulnerable. They are often wounded, sometimes destroyed. The world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. A cat has absolute emotional honesty. Human beings, for one reason or another, may hide their feelings, but a cat does not. As a writer, you should not judge, you should understand. Forget your personal tragedy. We are all bitched from the start, and you especially have to be hurt like hell before you can write seriously. But when you get the damned hurt, use it. Don't cheat with it. I'm not brave anymore, darling. I'm all broken. They've broken me. I can't stand it to think my life is going so fast and I'm not really living it. Never to go on trips with anyone you do not love. You are so brave and quiet, I forget you are suffering. There's no one thing that's true. It's all true. And you'll always love me, won't you? Yes, and the rain won't make any difference? No. If you are lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life, it stays with you, for Paris is a movable feast. My aim is to put down on paper what I see and what I feel in the best and simplest way. Write hard and clear about what hurts. When spring came, even the false spring, there were no problems except where to be happiest. The only thing that could spoil a day was people, and if you could keep from making engagements, each day had no limits. People were always the limiters of happiness, except for the very few that were as good as spring itself. We would be together and have our books, and at night be warm in bed together with the windows open and the stars bright. I didn't want to kiss you goodbye. That was the trouble. I wanted to kiss you goodnight, and there's a lot of difference. In order to write about life first, you must live it. No, that is the great fallacy. The wisdom of old men, they do not grow wise, they grow careful. So far about morals, I know only that what is moral is what you feel good after, and what is immoral is what you feel bad after. An intelligent man is sometimes forced to be drunk to spend time with his fools. But life isn't hard to manage when you've nothing to lose. When you love, you wish to do things for. You wish to sacrifice for. You wish to serve. The world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. But those that will not break it kills. It kills the very good, and the very gentle, and the very brave, impartially. If you are none of these, you can be sure it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry. The first and final thing you have to do in this world is to last it and not be smashed by it. All things truly wicked start from innocence. If two people love each other, there can be no happy end to it. The hard part about writing a novel is finishing it. It is awfully easy to be hard-boiled about everything in the daytime, but at night it is another thing. Now is no time to think of what you do not have. Think of what you can do with that there is. They wrote in the old days that it is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. But in modern war there is nothing sweet nor fitting in your dying. You will die like a dog for no good reason. Worry a little bit every day, and in a lifetime you will lose a couple of years. If something is wrong, fix it if you can. But train yourself not to worry. Worry never fixes anything. We ate well and cheaply, and drank well and cheaply, and slept well and warmed together and loved each other. I know the night is not the same as the day, that all things are different, that the things of the night cannot be explained in the day, because they do not then exist, and the night can be a dreadful time for lonely people once their loneliness has started. How did you go bankrupt? 2 ways, gradually then suddenly. You know it makes one feel rather good deciding not to be a bitch. Often a man wishes to be alone and a girl wishes to be alone too, and if they love each other they are jealous of that in each other, but I can truly say we never felt that. We could feel alone when we were together, alone against the others. But we were never lonely and never afraid when we were together. Don't you ever get the feeling that all your life is going by and you're not taking advantage of it? Do you realize you've lived nearly half the time you have to live already? Madame, all stories, if continued far enough, end in death. And he is no true storyteller who would keep that from you. Why do old men wake so early? Is it to have one longer day? It's none of their business that you have to learn how to write. Let them think you were born that way. Live the full life of the mind, exhilarated by new ideas, intoxicated by the romance of the unusual. His talent was as natural as the pattern that was made by the dust on a butterfly's wings. At one time he understood it no more than the butterfly did, and he did not know when it was brushed or marred. Later he became conscious of his damaged wings and of their construction, and he learned to think and could not fly anymore because the love of flight was gone, and he could only remember when it had been effortless. All my life I've looked at words as though I were seeing them for the first time. Poor Faulkner. Does he really think big emotions come from big words? He thinks I don't know the $10 words. I know them all right, but there are older and simpler and better words, and those are the ones I use. There is nothing else than now. There is neither yesterday, certainly, nor is there any tomorrow. How old must you be before you know that? There is only now, and if now is only 2 days, then 2 days is your life, and everything in it will be in proportion. This is how you live a life in 2 days. And if you stop complaining and asking for what you never will get, you will have a good life. A good life is not measured by any biblical span. We are all broken. That's how the light gets in. Why, darling, I don't live at all when I'm not with you. By then I knew that everything good and bad left an emptiness when it stopped. But if it was bad, the emptiness filled up by itself. If it was good, you could only fill it by finding something better. When you start to live outside yourself, it's all dangerous. I like to listen. I've learned a great deal from listening carefully. Most people never listen. I am always in love. The most essential gift for a good writer is a built-in, shock-proof shit detector. After writing a story, I was always empty and both sad and happy, as though I had made love. And I was sure this was a very good story, although I would not know truly how good until I read it over the next day. When writing a novel, a writer should create living people, not characters. A character is a caricature. Most people were heartless about turtles because a turtle's heart will beat for hours after it has been cut up and butchered. But the old man thought, I have such a heart too. It's silly not to hope. It's a sin, he thought. I may not be as strong as I think, but I know many tricks and I have resolution. Going to another country doesn't make any difference. I've tried all that. You can't get away from yourself by moving from one place to another. There's nothing to that. But Paris was a very old city, and we were young and nothing was simple there. Not even poverty, nor sudden money, nor the moonlight, nor right and wrong, nor the breathing of someone who lay beside you in the moonlight. There is no rule on how to write. Sometimes it comes easily and perfectly. Sometimes it's like drilling rock and then blasting it out with charges. No one you love is ever truly lost. As I ate the oysters with their strong taste of the sea and their faint metallic taste that the cold white wine washed away, leaving only the sea taste and the succulent texture, and as I drank their cold liquid from each shell and washed it down with the crisp taste of the wine, I lost the empty feeling and began to be happy and to make plans. God knows I had not wanted to fall in love with her. I had not wanted to fall in love with anyone. But God knows I had, and I lay on the bed in the room of the hospital in Milan, and all sorts of things went through my head, but I felt wonderful. I loved you when I saw you today, and I loved you always, but I never saw you before.